Hey guys, my name is James Walsh, and you are listening to the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. I want to thank you for finding us. Please do me a favor and click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. And if you get the chance on this video, click the like button. If you do, it'll turn blue. Check it out. Also, check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for all this great content available in MP3 format, our online store that'll keep us going free and clear, daily news updates, as well as all the information from the history of professional wrestling you could possibly ever want. Check out WrestlingEpicenter.com online right now. Without any delay, let's get to your interview here on the Wrestling Epicenter. Here's a classic interview that was conducted by Chris Yandick for use on WrestlingEpicenter.com. It is with the one and only Fabulous Moolah, and I'm happy to say it's the last remaining recording of this interview anywhere. Even Chris Yandick doesn't have it. I guess he has it now if he takes it from this. But yeah, he let us use it, asked us to use it around the same time that she passed away, and I think that it stands the test of time. So enjoy this conversation with the Fabulous Moolah.
I'd like to welcome my guest this time. She's one of the greatest women wrestlers ever, a true historian for the women wrestling business itself and the wrestling business. I'd like to welcome the Fabulous Moolah. How are you doing today?
Wonderful, Chris. How are you doing?
I'd
like to say hello to all of my fans and friends, and that everything is wonderful for me, and I hope it is for them.
Why did you decide to write The First Goddess of the Square Circle, and what can fans expect from the book?
Well, what happened was Vince McMahon called me and he said, Lil, I think it's time for you to write a book. I said, why is that, Vince? He said, well, because you're starting your 7th decade and people need to know about you. I said, well, let's do it.
Do you think that this book is probably the best look at women's wrestling as far as the history goes?
Well, I do hope so. I think so, and all the reports that I've got says it is.
What were the early days of women's wrestling like for you?
I beg your pardon?
What were the early days of women's wrestling like for you?
That is all in my book, and I'll tell you now, it wasn't easy at all. I went through a lot of hardships and a lot of things that most people would never go through just to stay in the business. But I loved it so much, and I still love it, and I'm going to be in it until I die.
When you held the Women's World Title belt for 26 years, that is 28 years, excuse me. My apologies by my statistics there. That is unheard of by today's standards. Do you think that maybe that was one of the things that really helped increase the popularity of professional wrestling, maybe?
Well, I really don't know. I can't say.
When you wrestled Wendy Richer, and Wendy didn't know that you weren't going to win, you called the match, and Wendy had little choice but to go along because you were more capable of controlling the match. Tell me about that.
I didn't know that she was supposed to know that she wasn't going to win the match. Nobody knew that. I just kicked her ass, and that was it. Because she would not give me a match. She would not sign the contract, and I went in as a spider lady, the only way I could get to her, and won my match in 8 minutes.
Tell me about your experiences with Cyndi Lauper.
I didn't have any matches with Cyndi Lauper, but she was supposed to be managing Wendy Richter that night, and I think that she got the referee's attention and caused me to lose the match because I was the one who had to pin and hold.
What?
And I got her by the throat, and her boyfriend was begging me, please let her go, don't ruin her voice. And I said, what voice?
What are your best memories of one of the great women wrestlers of the past, Mildred Burke?
Well, I met Mildred one time. I never got to know her, but I did admire her ability and her stamina and everything in the ring. I liked her very much, but I never got to know her, I'm sorry to say.
Elvis Presley always wanted to be a pro wrestler. What are your best memories of him?
Well, he used to come every Monday night when we were in Memphis, Tennessee. He was driving a truck at that time. He used to come by to say hello to us, and he'd always talk to me, and he said, Moolah, please, can't you help me get into wrestling? and I told him at that time he would tell us, where little honky tonks he was playing in that night, the next night, as long as we went around Memphis, and we would go by to see him. And I told him, I said, Elvis, you got a beautiful voice. Maybe you ought to stick with that. So it wasn't too long before Tom Parker got a hold of it, and that was the end of wrestling.
How are you and Mae Young feeling right now after you took those bumps from the Island Boys a couple weeks back on Raw?
Well, we're in pretty good shape right now. I'd say good shape, but for about 2 weeks, neither one of us hardly walk.
Any possibility you might work with the WWE again in the near future as a TV personality, possibly?
Well, I hope so. We're open, and Vince knows all he's got to do is call me.
When you defeated Ivory and won the Women's Championship back in 1999, how did you feel about that at your age, being involved back in the sport on the roster in the matches for a short time?
I thought I was in another world. I couldn't believe it. Here I am, 76 years old, and the world champion again. It was wonderful.
Do WWE divas look up to you, and do you ever get asked for advice on how maybe to improve their wrestling style?
How do I approve of their wrestling?
No, I'm asking, have they ever asked you advice about how they could improve their wrestling style?
The WWE?
Yeah, the women that are there currently now.
No, I don't think Vince McMahon needs to ask anybody anything, because I think he knows the best, and I think he does the best for everybody and everything. Because this is not the 1930s anymore. It's just 2002, and we got to roll with the flow. And if somebody my age can do it, I think everybody should. I just don't see sitting back in the 1930s.
Finally, I have one curious question. Did you ever get to meet or know Babe Dickerson by any chance?
I didn't understand that.
Did you ever get to meet or maybe possibly know the great Babe Dickerson, one of the great female athletes of the 1950s and 40s by any chance?
And what was her name?
Babe Dickerson.
Babe Dickerson.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I was at her home many times in Texas.
Thank you so much, Moolah. Any final comments?
Well, thank you so much, and I'd just like to tell everybody, please buy my book, and I'm sure you will enjoy it, and every word in it is true. And thank you for supporting me, and I love you all.
Thank you so much, Moolah.
Bye-bye.
You have a great day.
My name is James Walsh, and I'd like to thank you for checking out the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please do. Click that subscription button and the notifications bell. This way you'll be notified anytime I upload any new or new to you classic content from our archives that date back to 2002. If you get the opportunity, please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and info needs, as well as our store to keep us going free and clear. Without any further delay, let's get to why you came here, the content here on YouTube.